and with me in the studio today is the Rotary Club. Pretty much like the whole Rotary Club, right? Like it's
not quite,
so
but you know, a good group of us.
We actually are 50 members.
50 members.
Yes.
Okay,
And
so
growing.
so a small sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a
We're
big.
the important one.
That's right. the elite, the cream. Yes, excellent. So there are too many of you for me to remember your names and your titles and everything. So why don't I just let you introduce yourselves, give people a sense of who you are and what you do in the Rotary Club, if you have a function in the Rotary Club.
Okay. My name is Tim Hollander. I am the past president of the club and in charge of a couple of committees, and the flag committee, which we'll talk about today. So,
Right. So if you're past president, does everybody have to refer to you as president, kind of like being the president of the U.S.? You're like always president once you...
well, yeah, they call me president, of course.
Of course, naturally.
He demands respect.
That's what they say under our breath.
They used to, when I was president, they used to kneel before me, but not
Right,
anymore.
no.
Can't do that.
And I'm Scott Needham, and I'm membership chair, and I also organize our online auction every year.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Welcome, Scott.
I'm Eric Deneau, and my title is a little long. It's district governor nominee, which takes me outside of the club and puts me out into the bigger world of Rotary.
Okay.
We are broken into districts, and in our district, in our region, it's 42 clubs. So in
Right.
2 years, I'll be in charge of 42 clubs.
Wow. 42 clubs. So
Yes.
so 50 members in the local club,
Correct.
and then these other clubs would be
Right.
comparable, some
Right.
smaller, some bigger. I would
Right. So our
assume.
district encompasses northern Vermont,
Right.
northern New Hampshire, and southern Quebec.
Okay.
So there's roughly 1,600 members in our district.
So it extends into Canada.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
you're
we're an
gonna-
international
Right.
district, yes.
So you're going to be having to make trips up to Canada to
Yes,
coordinate
absolutely.
with you. Yeah.
I don't speak French, but I'll be making trips.
By the end of your tenure, you'll
I
probably be fluent.
Might learn a few
Yes,
words,
that's
yes,
right.
exactly. Exactly.
And I'm Jeff Conrad. I'm the current president
Okay.
for another 7 weeks.
All right.
Our year ends on June 30th, so and a new president will take over at that point.
So are your presidential elections as contentious as the U.S. presidential elections? Is there
Kind of more behind the scenes.
aggressive
stuff.
campaigning?
Hardly.
And,
Yes.
yeah.
More congenial.
There actually are 1,300,000 members internationally,
Oh, wow.
and 34,000 clubs.
Right.
Yeah, so we have a big reach.
That is a lot of members. Do you ever have conventions where all
Sure.
1,300,000 people get together?
Yeah. Yes, the next convention is being held in Seoul, Korea.
Okay.
That's held in another couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going, but the following year is going to be held in Atlanta, Georgia. So
Right.
a lot of people from our region might be going to
Sure.
the convention.
Because 1,300,000, that would be like double the population of Vermont.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Interesting way to think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in over 200 countries, so it's very expansive and.
So it's very much an international
Oh, absolutely.
organization.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you yourself cover
Exactly.
an international region, or will be,
Will be, yes.
poised.
Yeah,
to-
ready to
yeah.
go. Being trained, being groomed for the position.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We actually had something to do with the start of the UN at the end of World War II.
I heard that.
Yeah,
that's
I was
Yeah.
reading about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Rotary has a seat at the UN. Yeah.
Still does, yes.
Uh-huh. So I know Rotary's been around for over 100 years now. It's got quite a pedigree.
We just had our 111th anniversary, right?
Yep. 111
Is there a
years.
date? Is there a
Yeah,
specific? You celebrate
February
the birthday on the
26 or something like
Wow.
that. Yeah.
All right.
And we
You have
just-
a
we did-
cake with 111 candles. And,
Yeah.
you know. And for viewers out there who might not know what Rotary is, can you describe just in very concise terms what Rotary, what it stands for, what it's about?
Our district governor can.
Yes.
Sure.
Excellent, yeah.
We are a service organization.
Okay.
Our motto is service above self. Our goals are to make the world a better place in very simple terms,
Okay.
at the community level, at the regional level, and also at the international level. We participate in a lot of projects right here at home, but we also reach out to other areas of the country that, in the world, that need our help.
Sure.
One of our signature projects as an organization is the working on the eradication of polio,
Mm-hmm.
and Rotary's been involved with that since 1986,
Mm-hmm.
and we're this close.
Yep.
And that's our little symbol for eradicating polio throughout the world. So
We've
it's
given
this-
actually almost $1 billion toward that effort,
Right.
along with the
Wow.
Gates Foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our Rotarians have actually gone to India to help in the eradication of polio.
Sure.
And clean water is another one of our ventures. And
Mm-hmm.
we've had one of our Rotarians go to Ghana and work on clean water wells. So
Okay. So I've heard that there are only like 2 or 3 countries left in the world now where
Yeah,
where they
that's
have
correct.
polio.
Yeah.
Pakistan and Afghanistan are the 2 countries that are left.
2 countries.
And of course, they're the ones that are so conflicted, so it's so very hard
Right.
to get to, and they're a nomadic culture, so it's very hard to get to them. And
Huge challenges.
but they figure that in maybe the next year, maybe 2,
Mm-hmm.
they'll have it
Right.
licked. So
So you mentioned the polio, the clean water. What are some other things that Rotary has been working, like internationally? What are some of the global things?
Disease prevent. We have 6 avenues of service, and I'm not going
Okay.
to be able to remember all of them. But
Yep.
women's issues and maternity issues is a big scope
Sure.
that we deal with. Disease eradication, which polio falls under, is one
Absolutely.
of them as well. The clean water is one of our
Mhm.
global issues that we're dealing with. Help me out, guys.
peace and conflict resolution.
Yep.
Well, that's very much in keeping with the UN
Yeah.
mission, which
Yeah,
is,
it is.
Right.
You know,
essentially at its core, it's dedicated to
we
world
offer
peace. So
we
it's,
offer peace scholarships. You know,
Right.
we have I think we have 4 universities throughout the world where we
Mhm.
offer undergraduate or graduate work in peace and conflict resolution,
right. Yeah.
and that's a very important part of what we do.
Mhm.
Yeah. But-
Environmental issues too.
Okay.
And there have been in the past exchange programs with
Mm-hmm.
groups of Rotarians that exchange with other countries. So
I
we did have a group go to South Africa.
Yes. I
think you
heard
know-
about
I
that.
think
Yes.
you know something. Yeah,
But my wife was a part of that.
Yeah.
right.
Part of
Yeah.
one of those trips to South
Right.
Africa. Yeah.
Right.
It was. I think it was difficult. It was very challenging and very inspiring at the same time. But certainly, she made a lot of connections and learnt a tremendous amount about South Africa and the history and the culture. It seems like making those connections would be so fundamental to establishing peace. It seems like so often what
Yes.
Absolutely.
Communications is the issue.
Right. What
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
peace so difficult is misunderstanding, distrust. You know, that ignorance really
Right.
kind of fuels
yeah.
hostility and anger, and then when people actually connect and they get to know each other,
Exactly.
Well, that goes away.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, that
Yeah.
evaporates.
Yeah.
And,
You
Yeah,
know,
and
another focus of Rotary is with the youth, and
Mhm.
I was just going to say.
yeah, we have a youth exchange program which is very, very strong within Rotary, where we obviously take in an exchange student from a different country and then also send students across. And I think if we're going to work on peace, why not start with the youth?
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of ties it all together.
Yeah.
And we're actually starting another youth exchange with the Rotary Club in Sherbrooke, Quebec. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
For high school students that have been studying French
Mhm.
here.
Yep.
And it'll be a 2-week exchange where a student from Sherbrooke will come here,
Mhm.
stay with a local family whose one of their children is a French-speaking
Mhm.
student, and
Right.
then swap back to
Yeah.
Sherbrooke after that.
Because you can learn about another, you can read about a culture, you can watch movies about other places, but
immersion's the best.
there's nothing
Yeah,
quite
yeah.
the same. There's no substitute for
Right.
being there and experiencing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's something entirely different.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And such a broadening experience for the young people especially, but I mean also for the adults as well.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Gives you-
They all come back and say it's life-changing.
I would imagine it
these
is.
All
I
these
would-
young people.
yeah.
Yeah. We were just at
Absolutely.
a district conference here last weekend up at Jay Peak, and every year when we have the district conference, they bring in the exchange students from the district that have spent the year here, and we hear about their experience, and they're just so upbeat and excited about what they've been through. And they're from Germany and Argentina and Paraguay.
Has this been going on for a while?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
this
Yeah.
something
It's
that has a
it's been going
history
on
to it?
for years, quite a long time.
Right. So I feel like we live in such a global environment now, the way that we communicate, especially young people growing up, familiar with these new modes of communication.
Right.
The classic boundaries, the traditional boundaries are being broken down, and people really have a sense of themselves now as part of an international community. And it seems like Rotary's been building that, been trying to foster that, and now is kind of at your mission is kind of so much in accord with that.
Exactly. Exactly right.
We also do a lot of work for our community.
I was going to ask, that's sort of the broad stuff, but what's some of the more
Sure.
the more local projects?
Well, Tim can talk about the Flag Project, which is one of our
Yeah,
service projects and fundraisers.
yeah. We have three major fundraisers. The Flag Project is one of them,
Okay.
and your audience has probably seen the flags on the 5 major holidays that are put up around town by the Rotary Club.
I would hope
And,
so.
It's hard not to them, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, unless you work nights or whatever. So we started this about 4 years ago, and we started the first year with just 100 flags, sort of a test, and now it's up to 400. Well, it's going to be roughly 400 flags at the end of this year, and we charge $50 for us to put up a flag in on the lawn of a business or residence on those holidays, and take it down in the evening and store it in the meantime.
Right.
So what am I missing here?
Well, there are actually 3 ways that people can buy a flag for in front of a business or a home. We also put veterans flags in Cannon Park,
Okay.
and they all have a plaque attached to them with the person's name, the branch of service, and the rank, the years of service, the war that they were in. The ones in Court Square are for businesses that don't have an area to put a flag up, and so they're all gathered around Court Square. And we're just starting this year with a new project of families who are in an outside location or even outside of Middlebury who want to sponsor a flag. They'll have a plaque attached to the flag with their name, family's name, or in honor or memory of, and those flags will be along the town green.
Right.
So
that would be a way to support Rotary, obviously, and I would imagine that money will get used in the projects in the community
Sure.
building.
all of the money that we raise through our fundraisers
Right.
goes directly back to the
Yeah.
communities.
Right. So that's one piece of it, and
Correct.
then they would be, showing the support for the community through those flags.
Correct.
And then I guess another piece is the contributing to that sense of community at those
And
at those-
patriotism.
right,
Sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
At those
Sure. When
events.
you drive down, Court Street and you see the
Yeah.
flags on both sides of the Court Street, and then you come around by the Middlebury Inn,
Yep.
and you see all those flags, and you keep on traveling through town, you see the flags, and it just kind of gives you a real sense
Yeah.
of community, and we're proud that we do that as a Rotary Club.
It's also fun putting them up. And it's fun trying to find, there are sleeves that go in the ground, and we kind of lose track of them. So occasionally in the morning you might find a Rotarian on his hands and knees trying to search for the place to put the flag.
We take our Rotary shirt off then.
Probably wise.
Yeah, but it's a good club project. It brings the club together, and we have a good time doing what we do.
Right. So how would somebody become affiliated with the Rotary Club? How does one become a member of the Rotary
That's
Club?
easy.
Oh,
It's really easy.
Okay.
We have a website, first of all.
Yeah.
If you just Google Middlebury Rotary, go onto the website. It has a lot of things that we do and avenues. It's a link to I would like to join or I'd like to learn more about Rotary. You can do it that way. We have an email address, middleburyrotary@gmail.com. Somebody can just say, I'd like to be interested in learning more about the Rotary Club, and we'll respond to that. We actually have a membership breakfast coming up on June 15th at the Middlebury Inn. If somebody's interested in learning more about Rotary, happy to go to the website or just email middleburyrotary@gmail.com. Say they're interested, and I'll invite them.
All right, excellent. That
Sure.
does sound very straightforward.
Yeah. We meet once a week, 7:15 at Rosie's for breakfast,
Okay.
and anybody is welcome.
Uh-huh.
And there's also speakers at our meetings, and again, they can go to the website and they can find out who's speaking. We always have a very interesting speaker.
Excellent. So how did you, I don't know whether you all want to speak to this, but I'm wondering how you got into Rotary, how you found out about Rotary, how you were drawn into Rotary, how you became members, like what your personal paths were.
I, for one, I have a college classmate who was a Rotarian, and I knew absolutely nothing about Rotary, and he called me up several years ago, 6, 7 years ago, I guess it was, and asked if I'd be interested in joining, and I said sure. I don't know, couldn't think of any reason not to, so I got hooked, and I've had a great ride. It's been a very enjoyable, enlightening, and interesting trip.
So is this somebody local? Is this somebody that's affiliated with the Middlebury group?
He is a member, and he lives in Cornwall.
Right. And you went to college with this,
I did,
this guy.
yeah,
You still live
yeah.
in the same area.
Yeah. Still speak to each other too. Yeah.
Where did you go to college? I'm just
Right
out of
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a coincidence.
That's right.
More of a coincidence.
Went to college in Colorado and both happened to land up.
Landed up here. Yeah.
I shared an office with Maggie Quinn at Elderly Services, and Maggie kept asking me to join Rotary, and she was very persistent, and I finally said, I'll go to a meeting, and I've been hooked ever since. It's a great organization. It's a great way to pay back the community, and we really live in a wonderful community, and it's nice to give something back.
Sure. I would agree. I think we live in a phenomenal community. This is such a great place.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. And I think that sense of social responsibility is something that really undergirds this community. I see it again and again.
And it's not everywhere. It's
Right.
a lot of places don't have this same feeling about the whole, responsibility towards less fortunate people in our town, and
Absolutely.
so, it's great. Yeah.
No, I think it is a very
Yeah.
special thing. A
Yeah.
tremendous engagement as well.
Right.
Eric is the long timer.
These are seniors.
How many years?
My Rotary history goes back a long ways. I've been a member of this club for 26 years. But my history goes back because my father is a Rotarian and has been for nearly 60 years. And
So you're a legacy.
yeah, kind of. I am a legacy. I remember when I was a kid that I would go to, Dad's service projects. At the time we really didn't know where we were going, but Dad would drag us along, and we would help out in his club service projects.
Yep.
So I've been involved in Rotary for basically all my life.
Okay.
In one form or another, but I've been a member of this club for 26 years and I've enjoyed it. And the interesting part is meeting all the people, now that outside my club, meeting all the people throughout the district and throughout the world. And, we're all from the same cut of cloth. I mean, we all have that, that drive to serve. And it creates a bond that I've made a lot of great friends through Rotary.
Right.
And that's one of the things we forget sometimes in Rotary is that a good part of Rotary is the fellowship. We have a great time. As you can see, we're kind of joking around here today.
Sure.
But we have a great time at our meetings and at our events. And, even when we're doing a work project, we're still having fun. And that's a great thing about Rotary.
Well, that seems so fundamental. Like if you're going to do meaningful work, if you're going to have a positive impact, it seems so important that you should be joyful about doing it.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
if you're gritting your teeth and you're miserable as you're
Right,
doing
right,
it,
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
much less of a gift. And
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and it sounds like a big part of Rotary is establishing those connections as well, like building them within the group, but establishing them within the community as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were the original social network.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. The original Facebook, but we meet in person.
Right.
So.
Like.
Right.
So.
We have an event coming up in June We have a gala dinner. This is something that we've done. This is our third year. We have a gala dinner, which is held at the Middlebury Inn. It's in June 17th, where we give away all of the grants. We have a committee, CACO, which Jeff heads up. It's called the Charitable Assessment Committee. So any organization who is looking for funding can contact Jeff. Is it okay if I say where?
Yeah.
At the Middlebury Inn.
Yep.
Okay.
Or go online.
Or go online.
Go to the
And
website.
fill out a grant.
And they can fill out a grant application, and that committee distributes all of the money that we raise in the course of the year. This year, I think we're giving probably $60,000
Yep.
away to lots of different, probably 25 different organizations. And at this dinner, we have sponsors, corporations that fund us as well, and we distribute their money. We acknowledge them at our gala dinner, and then the grantees, folks who are receiving grants, will be at the dinner to receive the grants as well as Rotarians. And our speaker last year it was Captain Phillips, of the real Captain Phillips. This year,
Who's Captain Phillips?
the movie, Captain Phillips.
The movie with Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks?
the
Yes.
pirates took over his vessel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw that one.
No.
well, it's pretty famous. and this year's speaker's Tom Messner.
Movies, come on.
Tom Messner from
Right.
Channel 5 is our speaker this year.
Wow.
So we're
yeah.
very excited about that.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, have any of you participated in any of those like international trips? Have you gotten to go on?
Tim went to Honduras.
Yeah, I have.
You went to Honduras, yeah.
Yeah, I spent a week or so in Honduras working on a project there, building 4 elementary school classrooms
Right.
in a very, very poverty-stricken area
Mm-hmm.
and remote.
Sure.
Very interesting.
How was that experience?
Well, it was enlightening. You know, it's, you know, it's as far away from the culture of Middlebury, Vermont, as you could possibly get.
Right. Yeah.
This particular project was run by a guy who used to be a Rotarian here in Middlebury, and he moved down not too long ago down to a club to a town in Texas and had another Rotary Club down there, and has started up this project Hands to Honduras, and he sets up projects primarily building school classrooms and clean water projects in remote areas of Honduras. He's been hugely successful. Has built hundreds, not tens, but hundreds of classrooms down there. Yeah. It's really an amazing guy. Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of many projects.
Raises well over $100,000 every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's impressive.
And Rotary supports him quite heavily.
And Rotarians are always welcomed anywhere in the world at a Rotary meeting, which is really nice. I was at a meeting in Mumbai, India, at the Taj Hotel.
Oh wow.
And lots of our Rotarians, when they're traveling, will meet up with another club, and they're always welcomed, and it's really an interesting experience.
So that was part of that network that you you were
exactly.
talking
There you
about.
go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And every one of the key factors in how we work within the world, if we work in another country or if we give money to a project in another country, we always do it from one club to another. So if we want to give money to a water project in Uganda or something, it's a requirement that we find a local club in Uganda and deal with them directly so that if the money goes there, that club is keeping an eye on it.
Okay. So the projects, I mean, this is, I mean, you just in this brief period, you've described a huge array of projects in various different areas of concern. How do you choose these projects? How did the projects get started? I mean, does that come from Rotarians? Does like an individual Rotarian have
it's really
like a
grassroots? Because even the polio project
right?
that started in the Philippines was started by one Rotarian. He says, you know, let's take care of polio in the Philippines, or in actually his hometown, and then it just grew from there. So that one idea just blossomed, and then the whole organization adopted it. So if I have an idea or a project that I'm interested in, it can come. It's a grassroots organization. So it starts, with one Rotarian, one club,
That's so,
and then
yeah.
we just, it springboards off other clubs and the resources of the organization as a whole.
It's so inspiring because so often, you look at these problems, you hear about these problems, and they seem so big, so daunting.
Daunting,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, like polio would be a great like. Who would
Yeah.
look at polio and think,
We
we
can solve
can
this.
cure this? I
Right,
mean,
yeah.
it would seem
Yeah.
absolutely, like just tackling it, like you feel like you were just chipping away at a tiny little
Right,
bit,
yeah.
and your efforts wouldn't really count for much.
Right.
But it sounds like
But we make a
through the
difference.
resources, you're able to affect that change.
We also do some very small projects.
Right.
We're coming up in Rotary Week, which is the second week in June. We're going to have 2 service projects, which are very small. One of them is repairing the benches on the town green.
Mm-hmm.
Another one's painting the bandstand or the gazebo
Right.
on the town green. Real small stuff, but it all has to be done. And
Sure.
We're the guys that pick up your Christmas trees.
Okay. You're the guys who've been
We're the
taking my
guys.
Christmas tree.
You'll see us on Green Up Day,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
helping out.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of other
Uh-huh.
service projects.
One of our big projects this year, and we try to do a project every year where we apply for matching grants from our district. We got together with the Charter House Coalition,
Yep.
and they were in the process of moving their community garden from the Nash Farm up in New Haven down to a space behind the EMS building. And we applied for and got funding of over $7,500 to help them stock their shed and buy a new tiller to do this community garden. So
Thank you guys so much for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
It's been great. It's been thrilling hearing about what you're doing, making the world a better place. And that
Exactly.
sounds so. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't sound real when you say it, but
Yeah.
it's what you're doing.
It's true. It's true.
Well, thank you so much for all that you do.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for
you.
having
Thanks for
us.
having us,
Thanks for having
yeah.
us, yeah.
Been a pleasure. And it's been so much fun as well.
remember 7:15 at Rose's on Wednesday.
I will remember. So until next time, drive safe and may all your mischief be of the lawful persuasion.